the account of the life of an old vagrant named Melchior Sternfels von Fuchsheim, namely where and in what manner he came into this world, what he saw, learned, experienced, and endured therein, also why he again left it of his own free will. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Himbar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Hans Jakob Christoffel von Grimmelshausen's Simplicissimus. This is a 1668 baroque picaresque novel divided into 5 books. There's a sequel considered the 6th book, but apparently Grimmelshausen wrote 10. I'm a little confused on this book thing, but anyways, I read this and it was very enjoyable. When you think of picaresque and maybe you don't know what that is, maybe Google the Clever Stuff by Jack Vance. The book is about the rogue Simplicius traversing the Holy Roman Empire during the 30 Years' War. Scholars debate whether it has autobiographical elements. For those unaware, the war took place from 1618 to 1648. It's a complicated struggle that had ties to imperialism, the Reformation, and Civil War. It's very charming from the start. Simplicius is simple, hence his name. He's raised as a peasant, and he is separated from his family and then raised by a hermit. He can't remember his name, and so the hermit calls him Simplicius. The narration is in first person. He says his father's house is a grand castle, but describes a peasant's cottage. And another time he can't tell if a noble is a man or a woman. At times we see the best and the worst of humanity through kind of innocent eyes, if you will. It's honestly really funny at times, and the plot is all over because it's biographical, so different aspects of this person's life, you get different types of stories. But of course, it's fictional, but it feels real, and it brings to life the early 17th century. Our Picaro goes from being a very pious Christian to not at all to back to being a pious Christian, and he has many occupations throughout his life, including that of being a fool, a merchant, a stable boy, a prostitute, and more. At times it feels modern, and other times it feels medieval. Of course, this is early modern, so it's not very surprising, and, baroque. At one time, it even goes into folktale territory, and is quite magical, so to speak. We don't just get to see the Holy Roman Empire, but some of France and some of Russia as well, if I'm remembering correctly. And some say this is a Sturm und Drang novel, and I think this is too early for that title, but it's a really fun German picaresque novel, again, from the Baroque period. And honestly, I just think it's just full of so much charm, and it was just so fun reading this. And honestly, I don't know really much of anyone who's read this one, so if anyone wants to read this and talk to me about it, I'd very much enjoy that. And I could see myself reading it again in the future, and I'd like to get a physical copy because it just deserves to be on my shelf. Anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I will catch you next time.